on what I'm going to be asking you right now. Let me ask, what do you do to build a team? Let's say right now that you are going to build a baseball team or a football, soccer team. What is it that you do to build a team?
You have to recruit.
Miguel says that we have to recruit. How many of you agree on that?
I agree.
Okay, so you need to recruit who?
Players.
You need to recruit.
You have to have you have to know what is that you're looking for. So you get the proper team together.
So actually when you're recruiting for team players, right? Is that good to say that we're recruiting team players?
Yes.
Let me see. The computer audio. Got it. Are we doing better now, right? So that's why I asked you, Cristo, to take notes, but I'm going to start recording in my computer right now. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Let me see. My computer is good all over. Okay, so, first of all, in order for you to build a team, the first thing you need to do is recruit. But you recruit players only? And what kind of players you recruit? When you're recruiting and you're building a team, what kind of player are you looking for? Can somebody help me there? Maybe Elvis, maybe Chris, I don't know. Any of you can help me?
I'm trying to give space to Christopher and Beatrice. But well, in my case, my belief is you recruit the best players you can get, the best. Like if you're talking about sports, you're gonna talk about stars. You're gonna try to recruit stars. If you're talking about our industry, you're gonna be talking about leaders, best leaders you can recruit. That's the first thing you're gonna do.
I agree. So when you're recruiting for your team, first you recruit players, right? But you
got caught up.
how do you separate, how do you identify the good players and the average players? I don't want to mean bad players, there is no bad players. But what is your strategy to filter and to understand who is a good player or who is an outstanding player?
I think in team building, first of all, you have to have one thing in common for the group you are building or the team you are building. People have to be interested in all that you are doing before you can think that they are a team.
I agree. Mm-hmm. So when you have already the game plan to bring players, you know you're gonna get average players. You're gonna get average people, right? Let me check this out. Give me 1 second. I just want to take out this background. I'm at the office. It doesn't matter. So okay, my topic over here, my message is that you know that to build a team, you need to recruit players. And also you know that by recruiting players, you're gonna have average players and you're gonna have top performers. You're gonna have superstars. How do you identify one from another one? There is one way to identify who's a good player, who's not, by their performance, right? What they do, who they are, how committed they are, And most of the time you see when somebody's committed that they go to every practice, right? Then you see that superstar player, most of the time he's a superstar not because he said. Sometimes that superstar player is the good player because that's the one that practice, that's the one that performs, that's the one that hit the home run when the team needs it. And that's the one most of the time that represent the team. That's where the cheerleaders and the fans build around. Like fans want to see good play. Are you with me, guys? So by building a team in this
Yes, we are.
industry, like LB was talking about, it is almost the same strategy. On this industry, you build by recruiting people, you build the team, you build the atmosphere, you build the gang, the players, right? But at the same time, um, you need to know who's playing, who is average, who's moving forward, who is a leader, and who's going to be a top producer, right? We need to have the sense of that. So in order to do that, you need to master the skill of building a team. Sometimes you need to be there before the team. Sometimes you got to be there before the practice. But sometimes you're the one that brings the strategy. You have to step out for your team, and you're the person that build the strategy. Do you agree with me, guys? But how to manage to understand those principles? Because most of the time you are a new person and you follow up almost what the group is doing. You attend the presentations, you're learning in the process. But there is a psychology aspect where you take ownership, where you recognize I had to do my due diligence. Are you understanding where I'm going? You need to do what you need to do. And nobody can encourage you and motivate you more than yourself. So you need to be self-motivated and you need to be on top of your own game in order for you to understand, that you're representing the team and most people is gonna follow you. So you need to take that step. You need to step up. You need to say, hey, I'm gonna play differently. I'm not gonna be an average. I have to lead by example. Do you agree with me? Guys, you don't need to stay muted. You can actually interact with my questions and things like that. Even though that we are a small group over here, we're definitely gonna be the one taking advantage of this moment. So you can keep your microphone open if you want it. So let me outline what I believe is the recruiting process in this industry. To do that, I'm gonna open my PowerPoint now and share it with you. So it's only 3 slides, only 3 images. And I'm gonna be sharing with you now. Give me 1 second. There it is. I'm talking about the recruiting process to build the team. Some of you believe that the recruiting process just inviting friends and family. Christopher just says that, right? And I said before that we need to create a movement. We need to build an audience and we need to build the team. So the recruiting process is exactly that. It's a process. It's not one phone call. It's not one person. It's not leading all the result on the presentation or only what the general group is doing. The recruiting process is about your process to build your team. Not my team, not everyone's team, or anybody else but your individual team. So let me go through the recruiting process in a way that I put it together to train organization, to train leaders on what is it that I mean is the recruiting process, nuts and bolts, the tricks on recruiting. And let me put it like this. First of all, you need to build an approach. You need to build a way to get closer to people and talk to people. I'm not saying talking business, I say approach and you need to learn to talk to people. You are not gonna talk to people every time about business. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Not every time that you're talking to somebody is gonna be about business. You need to build bridges. You need to build trust. You need to build rapport. Okay? So approach is getting close to people. Approaching people is to build up conversations, to build curiosity. Are you with me? So approach is different than just, okay, I wanted to be in a Zoom. Approach is different than just sending to somebody a text message behind WhatsApp or behind Facebook. So it's like you hiding your face. You don't want them to look at you because then you're gonna feel the body language that they bring into you. So approach is talking to people. It's not sending messages. It's not sending the link to a WhatsApp group behind WhatsApp or to behind Facebook. I really want you to read what I'm talking about right here. Because most of us feel comfortable just sending a text. Hey, there is a presentation tonight. Bam, I sent it to 10 people, maybe 20. And that is not an approach. You need to learn how to go to people, to mingle with people, to commute with people. And you know me, guys, you know that I like to go around a topic. I want you just to get the message. Approach people and learn how to do it. Okay? Let me go to the next topic, which is going to be discovery. On this recruiting aspect of the process, this part of the recruit that I call discovery is about being interested in somebody else's story. Do you hear what I said? It's not about your story. It's not about your business. It's not about your presentation. Discovery is nothing but asking questions to your prospect after the approach. Discovery is, hey Luis, how you doing? How your new business going? Hey Luis, how do you feel about this technology in this new economy? Luis, I know you started a new business. How's it going? How much you value your time? How valuable is time today? How valuable is technology today? Discovery is about listening to your prospect. Listening. Last night I went to talk to a prospect customer for my real estate business. And that prospect is really, really discouraged because a lot of things is going on when people is dealing with this new economy. Some of them does not have a good credit. Some of them are behind bills, just like anybody else. And my strategy for that last night interview was, I'm here to listening to you. I want to hear everything about your situation. And that person was talking for about 20 minutes. My body language was like this. Like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm listening clearly to this a specific customer or potential client story. I want to hear everything about their property, about why they're behind, about why is this affecting the family and breaking relationships. And all this is common today. But I went there to listen. And last night, this lady was very protective, very resistant. Every time I said, hey, lady, let me tell you that I appreciate that you open your door, that you're listening to me. And my job today is listening to you. I want to hear everything. So the next topic would be, after the discovery, is going to be the invitation script. One thing is to discover what they are going through right now. Another thing is to invite them to listen to something new. So the recruiting process goes from approach is, hi, Luis, how you doing? Are you all doing okay? How's the family? And the approach also consists on body language, reading the body language, projecting a good body language, smile, project confidence. All this is about the approach. Build trust. That's number one. Build trust, build credibility. So the discovery is about them. The approach is the impression of saying hello, I'm here to help, or so and so and so. Maybe a friend that you have long time no see, and you approach that person for after a long time, then the approach is different. The approach would be like, oh my God, Pedro, how many years I have not have the attention to say hello, and now I have the opportunity, and I value now the time that we've been like away from each other. But I would say this, I appreciate that I'm saying hello again to you. Matter of fact, let me refresh my, your phone number, or refresh your wife's name. Maybe I forgot about, your wife's name. That I remember that she is working as a nurse or whatever. These approaches about building a conversation, build trust, build a link. Okay? So discovery about them. Invitation, you know what is invitation, but if you notice, this is the third step into the recruiting process. After the invitation is coming, the presentation means expose your opportunity. But I want you to understand what is the meaning of my message. Presentation is number 4. Presentation is number 4 in this ladder. Presentation is not number 1. Okay, so I want you to understand the reason is number 4. Some things have to happen before the presentation. Do you agree with me? So we cannot build a team, and we cannot relate a process only by presenting the opportunity. We maybe get people tired about listening to the same thing all the time. After the presentation, there is another step into the recruiting process, which is the evaluation. I mastered the recruiting process because I learned about the evaluation. The evaluation is about the prospects evaluating by themselves if the opportunity is suitable and valuable enough for them to spend their time. But the evaluation has nothing to do with me. It's a time, it's a process that belongs to the prospect. After the presentation, there is a period of evaluating the opportunity, evaluating the information. Do not, for any reason or circumstances, do not take away the evaluation from the prospect. Why? Because by taking the evaluation from the prospect, there is no meaning for the opportunity. There is no commitment. The prospect have not seen an opportunity for them, and you closing them. It is very valuable to allow the prospect to evaluate the information. Next step is going to be validating. This is you now. Look at the difference. After the presentation, it will be an evaluation process. After the evaluation process, it got to be a validation process, which is you validating the opportunity and validating the evaluation of your prospect. It is a process where when you ask the person, Pedro, after the information you just got exposed, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Let Pedro answer. Let Pedro go around the world, around the opportunity, and evaluate for himself. So you don't know what Pedro is clicking. What you want is to hear about it. So when Pedro says, oh, I like the timing, I think it's perfect. Or I like the conversation plan. Or I like the video. Whatever he said. Or I like the network. Or I like the team. Whatever he said. You will reply, me too. I also see value in what you just said. So when Pedro says, I like the timing, you said, me too, I think this is perfect, only 2 months. And now transition between digital world and the financial world getting together, man, not better time to get something like this. Whatever Pedro says, I like the video. I'm gonna say, me too. Isn't it good? Video, yes or no? Yes, I love it. And when Pedro says, I like the compensation plan, I say, awesome. Do you see that? I also believe the compensation plan is amazing. It's built behind a matrix that pays back, that returns back 800% or whatever is your contribution. I love that the aspect that this unique initiative aggressive return that any other platform or business out there. Validating is you creating more value on the opportunity and agreeing with your prospect. But the validation is not the closing. Validation is, I agree with you, Pedro. The conversation plan is well designed. I think these people is really genius, like the name of the program. But now, Pedro, let me ask you a question. Pedro, based on the fact that you already click into the opportunity, you see value, you see the opportunity, you can see it, yeah. I have to ask you a question. Do you see yourself taking advantage of the opportunity, yes or no? Oh, I can change that to, how do you see yourself taking advantage? Allow Pedro to bring the how. Sometimes when you ask a person, they feel control. Do not push the closing. Most of the time, when the closing is done in these steps, do you have an idea of where the closing can be done on these 7 steps that I already outlined for you? Take a look. Approach, discovery, invitation, presentation, evaluation, validation, closing. Before the validation and closing, right? But there is a moment there that you can understand that maybe the closing is already done. At what step you think that would be? Anybody can raise your hand and anybody can comment at this moment. Anybody able to comment? Christopher?
I think based on what I'm understanding here, most people get it after the presentation. So when people are interested, when you continue to present, there are statements that you make that help them to validate the information, evaluate and validate the information. So by the time you are completing your presentation, there are those whom you can close.
Good thinking, my brother. Most people believe the presentation. After that, you have the hints on the evaluation that they are closing, right? That they are getting in. But guess what? You know what I learned? And one of my business partners created a lot of value to this at this closing. You know when the closing is done? At the discovery time. The discovery gives you a hint and a guideline on how it's gonna be a closing, not a presentation. A little bit confusing, right, Christopher?
Yep.
How do you think I can guide my closing, taking advantage of the discovery? The discovery is about interviewing the person, knowing the motivation, knowing the challenges, knowing the drive, what get this person motivated, and reading the body language. But the discovery can give me a guideline on where and how I'm gonna be closing. How is that? Anyone have an idea? How can the discovery guide my closing?
it's connected because that's what you're going to use. The information that you can get from the prospect is what you're going to use to close. For instance, if in the discovery you found out that this person troubled because he's behind on the payments of his car, he's 2 months behind on the payment. When I'm closing, I'm gonna say, see, the reason why this opportunity is so good is because you could get what you need to get back on track with your car payments.
Agree with you, my brother, 100%, 1000%. The discovery gives you the hints and the guideline for your closing. But if you don't do a good discovery, your closing is just a regular closing. You're just trying to get the money. But when you have a good discovery, a matter of fact, my partner, I remember Carlos, I gotta mention Carlos Perez, is one of my best friends. And in case that he hear this recording one day. And I remember Carlos saying and teaching other people, hey, we do the closing at the discovery. That's where we know what can motivate and what's gonna be the reason why the opportunity is suitable for my prospect. This is very valuable, and we teach people a lot of stuff, but look at this, these are 7 steps, and we still missing important steps like follow-up. And the follow-up is where you cook the food. Closing is asking the person to engage into the opportunity. The follow-up is actually getting the money. The follow-up is getting the process. And the time frame of the follow-up is different than from any single person to the next person. Now, the last step over here in this ladder is the enrollment process. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Most leaders in this industry only do 2 things out of this line. They only present and go to the enrollment process. Present, enrollment process. Present, enroll. Present, enroll. But we're doing that. We're bringing a lot of people without discovery, without an appropriate invitation, without an appropriate evaluation, which is killing. Let me tell you why. Because most of the people that you enroll, but they don't know why they enroll in the next 2 weeks, they're dead. They are dead. They don't even know why they join a company. They don't even know why they pay $100 for registration. They have not understanding a process yet. Somebody presented to me, the business is good, and that person convinced me to get started. But when somebody understands this, at the same time you're utilizing the process, you training that person. You giving the process away to them. And I want you to understand why I talk about the recruiting process before building the team. That's why I was asking, if you're building a team, what is the first thing you do? You recruit. So how do you recruit? You just recruit people because you need people? Just because you need players? You build a team and you want to build a winning team? All these aspects have to do with the recruiting process. Now, I'm just going to outline the next topics, which is going to be the building the team steps. Starting everything with marketing. What is marketing? Creating leads, building an audience. Where do your leads are coming from? What the demography? Well, who are they, where they're coming from, and why? Why are you bringing that crowd? Marketing is about creating attraction to people. Marketing is putting flyers, getting news in the new local newspaper, getting flyers to the school, talking to neighbors about we're building a baseball team, who is a player, why the person want to join our team, why I'm promoting to the schools or to just to the park or convenience stores. If you're gonna recruit players for a baseball team, do you think you're gonna go to a disco club in the night just to recruit people drinking wine and drinking glasses and dancing? It would be the wrong place to market. Do you agree with me? So it is very crucial for you to understand the marketing aspect of building your team. How do you talk about your idea? Where do you talk about your idea? Are your next prospect coming from where? From a list of friends, families, or is coming from somebody interested in what you're doing? Who are they? Who's your next prospect? Your friend, your brother, your sister, or somebody business oriented? You looking just for players or you looking for top players? Marketing is crucial. The next step is the invitation. How do you invite people to take a look? I don't want to go through the details there. And the next step of building a team is the presentation. Who's presenting the opportunity? How the people is exposed to the opportunity? How many times? So you need to present people what is it that you're building. Next is the closing. I just talked about the closing. Next is the follow-up. And then it's going to be the enrollment process. Guys, be careful with this. Because the enrollment process is not chasing people, convincing them to get in. You also need to discover who's going to be a player in this process. Enroll people into a producing atmosphere, into a performing atmosphere. Be careful on your enrollment prospect. Training is important. How your group and your team is training to win. But without that, there ain't no championship. Without training, without creating a team mentality, without polishing the tools, there is no winning. Just participants. And when you play to another team, you're gonna play against another team, you're gonna be losing. Another team is gonna outperform your team if you don't train properly. And that's why I said, if we don't go to the training like this, or if we don't pay attention and we don't respect for that, we're training to lose. Period. No values on the training is no value in the championship. And get what most coaches do when the top players do not go to training. Superstar is not going to the training because he's good. Guess what the coach do? You are not good enough to disrespect us. So you are not playing in the next game, period. You're gonna be in the bench. Even though you are the top producer, I don't care. If you create value to the training, because that's disrespectful. At the end, recognition to your team. Who's growing? Who's doing a good job? That's why you see those VIP trophies. That's why you see those World Cups, because the recognition at the end. Every team plays millions of dollars on World Cups and championships. Millions and millions of dollars, just looking for what? Recognitions. Sometimes that recognition is just one home run away, one extra effort, one extra kick, one extra minute, one extra effort. But every team plays out looking for recognition, looking to be the winning group, the winning team. Of course, the money's behind who? Everybody wins, everybody makes money, but at the end, the winning team takes the trophy. And because of taking the trophy, also have extra bonuses. I do not want to get more on this recruiting process. I just want to outline those processes. And I want to appreciate you guys here understanding what we're gonna do with this. This is an amazing opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to build a winning team Let's do that. Let's participate with a winning mentality. Please do that. Let's go for the trophy. I know in the way it's gonna be money made, but we also need to recruit other people into the philosophy of being good, of training, of coming to this atmosphere. Group training. You know what people is not here? Don't feel bad for what I'm about to say. People are not here because we are not creating enough value for them. We are not creating an emergency of getting this information, even knowing that the information is very valuable. We are not creating that value. We're playing the, the average game plan. I want to move forward from there. I'm committed to move forward from there. And I'm looking for you guys to follow us on getting better, on getting this off the ground, and becoming top producer by building a movement. But also, let's go for the trophy. Let's go for the recognition. Recognize the people doing a good job. And before we go in, before we break this atmosphere, I just want to recognize a good job by Beatrice. Amazing, humble, little efforts, not understanding everything, little shy, but doing her job. Not missing one meeting here. She's not missing one meeting. She's not missing one training. And I prefer a good player like that and not a top producer that they respect the team. So I have to recognize Beatrice for understanding the job
Thank you so much.
that you're doing. Excuse me?
Thank you so much. I appreciate.
Yeah. And behind that, guess what, guys? I need to recognize Christopher is in another level. I'd like to recognize Miguel Rodriguez. He just joined, and I feel like Miguel is joining earlier because he's maybe sacrificing whatever he's doing to get here. And I really appreciate Miguel's performances. We're just getting started. There is a lot more to be done. We have not even cycled one matrix yet. We need to do that by duplicating, by asking people to bring only 3. Guys, can we bring 3 people? Not expecting to be superstars, not expecting to make millions of dollars. Can we bring 3 people? If we do that, you bring 3, guess what happens? You teach them how to bring 3, you complete 12. Because 3 by 3 is 9. You cycle that baby. You move up. So don't be comfortable until you got your 3, and moving up is a must. And the recruiting process is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So thank you again for being with us, and thank you again for that little hour there. I'm done for today. I've recorded this. I want to keep this for myself, and also it's going to be available for the team as soon as I produce a little video about it. So thank you guys. God bless, and thank you for supporting the Coaches Corners on Fridays. Okay, so everything is done. You can open your microphone now and bring any assignment or any comments about the training. So thank you guys. You can open your microphones if you want.
We're the ones who need to say thank you for putting this together and putting in perspective many, many things. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. And I am thanking you because of the opportunity to build something like this. So I'm gonna stop recording right now, and you can feel free either to comment, not comment. I'm done for